There was good focus, good energy. Questions?
How do you manage the reps with Jonathan Aiken? Because obviously he's not going to be available in the first half, but he's going to play.
Sure. It really takes the reps with the second team. And that's how you have to do it. We're counting on him to play when that second half starts. So we got to make sure he's ready, and he just won't get as many reps as maybe he did last week.
Desmond Peoples didn't take a traditional path to becoming a starting running back. Just talk about how he's been able to handle throughout the first 2 years and be able to handle the lack of playing time and compete.
What I like about Dez's story, I think it's a great example for a lot of young players in the program to just keep working, because when you come out of a top program like Archbishop Wood, like he did, and you play on a very successful high school football team, I think they were 16-0 and won a state championship, and you're one of the better players on that team and a very talented player in your own right. It doesn't guarantee you that the success will be immediate. But we recruited Dez because we knew he was really talented and we knew he was the right kind of person for our program. And it doesn't surprise me that he's productive. I think one of the things that's been said around here for a long time is every player has to run their own race. You can't start thinking about where you're at in relation to anybody else on the team, because every one of them is individual. And I just think for young players in our program, guys like Robert Martin, Josh Hicks, when they hear stories about people like Desmond Peoples or a guy like Leonte Carew, who played special teams his freshman year but didn't play receiver, I think those are great stories. When you have talented players in the program, not everybody gets to just come in and start right away. But he's worked exceptionally hard, and none of the success he's having now surprises me.
Now, first time you were at full strength at tight end, if so, what does that enable you to do?
Multiplicity of personnel groups. That's what I like about it more than anything. To have Nick and Matt and Tyler all available to us every week, it really gives us the opportunity to move in and out, whether it's 11, 12, 22 personnel. At some point, you'll see all three of them on the field at the same time. It's a good thing to have, because it's one more thing the other team has to prepare for.
So it's the first time this year you've had that luxury?
First time this year, I think we have. Yeah, first time this year. Even thinking back to some of the earlier years, I don't remember a time when we played all three. At one point, we were playing Howard Barbieri as a tight end, as the third tight end. But I don't know if we've ever had three true tight ends at the same time.
I talked about Leonte receiving a lot, obviously. What does he bring as a downfield blocker?
He's a physical guy. He's just a physical player in general. So whether he's running a route that doesn't ultimately get the ball, he's running a route that does get the ball, or he's blocking on a run play or blocking for somebody else when they make a catch, he's just a big physical athlete. And because of that, he's somebody who has a positive impact on the plays.
Pat, you expect to see more of Patton this week? Are you going to try to get him more involved?
I do. I do expect to see more of him. The getting involved part really is dictated more by the coverages we see than anything else. So I think we'll see more of him out there. Whether that means the ball comes his way, we can't guarantee that.
Kyle, can you talk about just the relationship between the players and coaches, the family mentality? Because a lot of players have been saying that our family thing is what really sold them to come to Rutgers. So what can you just talk about a little bit?
I always appreciate that when they say it, because when the players start kind of saying the things that the coaches are saying, I think you've got something special. We spend a lot of time together as a football team. I think this team in particular spent even more time together in the offseason than some in the past. And when we recruit a player, we're recruiting every player in the program to help us win championships. But when they get here, they become part of a family. And that means we try to put a support system around them, not just players, but support staff, both academic, in the weight room, in operations, so that all their needs as a student athlete, get met in what we call the class of college football, which is the expression we use for the standard, here. And if they're saying that, that means that they feel the same way. They feel that the coaches have their best interest in mind, whether they go out and have a great day of practice or whether they go out and maybe didn't have a great day of practice. And that makes me feel good that they say it.
What kind of scout team look are you getting at Gardner and Funchess?
I think we're getting a good look. It's hard with our numbers right now to get the perfect scout team look. So you saw today we did a period at the end of practice that was ones versus ones. That's the best look we can get, is to try to play against our first team defense and to try to play against our first team wide receivers. And so I think that's how we're going to have to do that, I think, as we go through the rest of this season, because we don't just have enough numbers that we can put put a scout team together in total to give us the exact look that we want. But I'm pleased with the look we're getting down there. Guys like Vance Matthews and Perry are doing a good job at receiver. You having a guy like Hayden Reddick and Gio Rossino, who did a lot of running in high school, has given us a pretty good look down there at the quarterback position. And but I still think you need the speed of the first team. So we did a little bit of that today. I think that'll be good for us.
Got time for two more?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of Michigan's offensive trouble is turnovers. Like they're moving the ball pretty well and then they're turning it over. Is that more? Can you count on those turnovers when you see a team that's turnover prone, or is that more concerning than a team that maybe is having trouble moving the ball? That makes sense.
Their weapons are what you have to defend. You can't guarantee it. You're exactly right. The game starts. You can't guarantee that you're going to get a turnover. Obviously, we do things within our defensive system to try to create takeaways. But there's no guarantee you're going to get them, and you're right. I mean, they've got talented running backs. They've got talented quarterbacks. They've got one of the top receivers in the country. They've got a big, physical, good-looking offensive line. So they've got more than enough weapons to be really good on offense, and they have been. And the reason their scores have been down is because of turnovers. I'm sure their coaches are working on that, and they've got good coaches. So, no, you can't guarantee it. So you have to defend the people. You have to defend the players, and then do everything you can to create a turnover.
You've used Denman as kind of the sixth lineman this year, and you got Brian Leone and Dorian some time last week. Are you comfortable saying, you could go 7, 8 deep if you have to at those positions? Are you comfortable using those guys if they have to fill in on the offensive line?
I am. I think they've prepared well. We've tried to get them time when we could. JJ's playing a certain percentage of the game right now, and going forward, we'd like to have more depth, but I'd say probably about 8 is where we'd go right now.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank